next up is our topic of the week, and the topic of the week is all around community service, and particularly around Excel. Jordan?
So, this was a very easy segue. Very happy to have Kari with us. So, the question I'm putting before the panel, guests included, is that is it enough just to be good at a particular technology? So let's say you do Excel, you do consulting like I do. So it's no longer enough just to be good at that particular technology. Would you not say that it also requires some community involvement, going on forums and posting? I know that when I first started, the forums that really helped me, Mr. Excel, VBA Express, there's a few more. That's all that there was when I first started. Now there's LinkedIn forums. There are a lot of other things that we can go to. So, I mean, do you feel like, as kind of a technical expert, or to build your technical expertise, do you have to do more community involvement? And at the same, follow-up question to that is, what is making us do community involvement? Why do we all run blogs? And Kari, I know you love your job. So what motivates you to be part of this community? So that is our panel discussion.
Sure. I'll jump in to start. Before I didn't start, my blog till probably a year ago, and so I started speaking at conferences maybe about 2 years or so ago around kind of business intelligence and analytics and things like that. But before then, it was largely not being out there and not being involved, and I think that there comes to a point to where if you're passionate enough about something, your passion for that topic not only shines through in what you're doing on the job from 9 to 5, but it shines through in the way you carry yourself afterwards. And you can tell someone's passion by not only what they're doing 9 to 5, but in what they're doing afterwards and how they're helping other people and just being involved. So I think it's just an extension of who you are. I think it's an extension of reaching to that level to where you finally have that sort of passion. What do you think about that, Oz?
Passion, that's what comes through to me, and it's interesting. I like what Kari is saying about community, right? And I know that like Gervin, he doesn't code VBA, so being an MVP doesn't necessarily mean the whole entirety of Excel. So there is, yes, being an expert, but also where you give it to the community. And I just fell into this because of passion. I didn't know Excel was a skill, because when I had my W-2 job, I was in a cubicle, sitting back there, doing stuff with data that I could not wait for the business analyst to get to me. I wrote enough of a query to get a data dump, and I came up with like a 3-day process of this matching stuff in conditional format, and I didn't know anything about VLOOKUP and tables. So, but it was fun for me finding these needles in haystacks. But then, after the layoff, they laid 300 of us off and moved to Wisconsin, and then I've been freelancing ever since. And I would honestly like to stop doing projects and go and train people and empower them to pull their own ass out of a fire, and that's been my key, because students come up to me afterwards and they say, okay, my boss gave me 50 rows and 9,000 9,000 rows and 50 columns of data, and they say, find something interesting. I don't even know where to start. Well, okay, I love to talk with them and help them get some idea about where to start. And it's been everything from like a slot machine manufacturer to a call center and physical therapists, and to get an email the next morning from a student saying that I look like a rock star because I could do a half-ass pivot table.
Bam.
I love that. I love that more than, $1,000 for building something for a client. But, having students liven up and they got something out of it. And a couple of weeks ago, I was too busy to help somebody. She couldn't, pay my tutoring fee, but I gave her a link to a couple of videos. Wow. Emailed me back. I got it. Yes. I don't care that you didn't add $50 to pay me, but you got your answer. Because your own ass out of fire. So I love that. I love that. And that's where my passion is seeing people liven up around that, and seeing it. Everything is data, And I got this when a friend of mine said, she sold her business. What did you sell? Well, I really turned over my books.
Right.
Plants, the chairs, the whatever. No, she sold the data. And where do we wind up with? We wind up back in Excel. And then a passion of mine has gotten to be around all this talk about R and big data and everything else, and talking with people who say, my job is to get people off of Excel. Okay, but there's still going to be some grant writer in a small nonprofit who still got a spreadsheet.
That's right.
And so, $120,000 a year data scientists showing up there. So,
right. So if we could turn it to Kari. I think Oz kind of just faded out there for a second.
Oh, I see him. Yeah,
okay,
I absolutely.
Now he's back. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's good. I think he hit it right on the head, and that is, it's all about the empowerment issue for sure. There's some kind of magic that happens when you help someone altruistically and they become empowered by that. I really think it's that simple. I think it makes us feel good when we're able to truly and honestly help someone where they weren't getting there by themselves. I really don't think it's more complicated than that. It's just an inherent human thing to want to do that. And I absolutely think that's what community is all about. And it absolutely exemplifies what an MVP is, the spirit of the award. That nails it right there.
So, I'm a company, and I've blocked blogs. So this actually happened to me when I used to work for the federal government. They had blocked some blogs, and so I'd be looking for Excel answers, and I couldn't find them because those blogs were gone. So if I'm a company and I want to train my employees to become good at any technology, would you say that they should look towards the community, not just buy the books, but sort of participate in the online community and learn from each other?
Well, yeah. I mean, if they're a small company, then there's a huge league of consultants out there that will offer top-notch training. If you're like a huge company, then you can have a contract with Microsoft where you can get that deeper training. But yeah, if you're a small company and you have a handful of folks that you want to teach Excel, or empower them in any way to be better at their jobs, then
I mean, there's a lot of free websites from the MVP community, like Chandu and Mr. Excel, and so like there are. Obviously we want to support our MVPs who sell training services, including us. But we also there's such a big community out there. We just want to encourage everyone to come and contribute and take part of it. It's not just what you read in the book. It's the interactions, because you learn things from one another that
true.
way. I've learned about a lot of the stuff that Oz does. He's asked me. We've had ideas back and forth, asking each other questions on how to do things, and we've just gotten tons of ideas.
Yeah.
And so I've learned a new business segment from Oz that I really have never actually dealt with. So
yeah, because there's a lot, so much. Because just dealing with somebody says this should really be happening in a database or Access. Well, I got some 3-person operation, and who's going to buy Access and who's going to learn it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we could agree, yeah, it should be in Access, but you have all those other things to deal with. Now, if you were sitting in an enterprise, then you go to somebody who can write a check and send you to a class. Okay, and that's a whole different market.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's true, and that's one of the beautiful parts about the MVP program is that the MVPs are reaching customers that Microsoft as a whole can't touch. We don't have the scale. You know, like grandma who's just trying to figure out how to Skype somebody but is having a heck of a time. Like, that is the perfect person. Like, you know, she could call Microsoft, but it's going to have kind of a, you know, it's going to be, we're not the best on customer service, honestly, but our MVPs are totally awesome at it. So, you know, anytime you go out and do a search for any kind of a problem with some of our products, especially in the office space, those top 5 results are most likely going to be MVPs. They're the ones who are, they're so fun, but we definitely encourage and support and award people out there who are still helping the legions of customers that can't upgrade or haven't yet, or just, you know, are scared to. So we'll have a whole bunch of people out there who are supporting all the customers, the ones that we can't or don't touch.
This is beautiful. I really
It is. It's great. I mean, the other really, really important part about MVPs, and it's absolutely exemplary of being a community member, is that you're the voice of the community. So we have I can't tell you like how many times a week we have MVPs from all over the world who will reach out to the product group and say, there is a fatal error in your product right here. Or, hey, did you know that this bug, it's a kind of a big bug, you know, it's here, red alert, red alert. They're kind of like the canary in the coal mine. Or they're just saying stuff like, the color scheme is really, is really hurting senior citizens' eyes. Like, did you know that? Like, you know, and so they come back with all this useful information. You know, Microsoft's sort of always accused of being in their little silo in the Redmond campus, and to a large degree we really are. So we do need those MVPs out there who are like, I just had a client who can't figure out where the start button is, you know, I just want to give you that feedback and you might want to rethink it, or something like that.
Right.
You know, is hugely valuable to us when we hear real stories from our MVPs.
Yeah.
So you got start button feedback.
We got a few.
The few calls.
So far, I haven't put any feedback in because I feel bad, because there's this massive program here, and I'm like, yeah, I don't really like the, you know, I haven't put anything in yet.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I feel bad. I know that everyone's like, I don't know. I mean,
No,
I'll wait for something good.
No, I encourage you to get over that, and definitely, I mean, that you're in a unique situation where people on the other end of that line are actually listening. So use it to your advantage, and we need to hear it, and that's the way we work with each other too. It's, you know, we're never going to know what's bugging people or what isn't working great unless someone like you tells us. So yeah, don't feel bad. Blast us as much as you want.
All right, I have tons of email now.
That's good to know. That's good.
We're gonna read this.
Right. that you're not. You don't become an MVP and then drink the Kool-Aid, right?
Oh,
Actually, become a real partner. Okay.
It's true.
You're independent experts. It's real. They take it seriously. Absolutely
True. I mean, one of the reasons why I exist is that I'm a buffer between the rest of Microsoft and the MVPs. So we can really maintain that independent expert part. And, you know, there's several times in my experience where I've had to, you know, remind folks at Microsoft that this person doesn't necessarily work the way we work, and that they are independent and they have their own voice. As harsh as it sounds sometimes, you just, you know, you have to say, this is great advice, and thank you for giving it. And for the most part, everyone internally is definitely super excited about getting that feedback. But yeah, MVPs are a tough crowd. They don't mince words.
Okay.
You know, they don't put any feathers on anything.
No, they definitely tell it straight.
They load their feedback gun and they fire it.
Wow.
So they need a buffer.
Yeah, I like to smooth out some of the comments around the edges.